Today, we'll be exploring different ways to study before summer, so you know what works, what doesn't, and what to do before you go. Cramming. Cramming means trying to learn a large amount of information in one long session, usually right before a test. It often happens when studying has been delayed and time is running out. The problem is that the brain gets very little time to strengthen and organize the new information. A student may remember enough to get through an exam, but much of it can disappear soon afterward. A better alternative is to divide the material into shorter study sessions across several days. Even 30 or 40 minutes of focused study each day can give the brain more chances to store and revisit the information. Passive rereading. Passive rereading means going through the same textbook pages or notes again and again without actively testing what you remember. It feels productive because the material becomes familiar, and familiar information can seem easier to understand. However, recognizing a sentence is different from being able to explain it without looking. A better alternative is to stop after reading a section, close the book, and explain the main ideas from memory. You can also turn important points into questions and answer them without checking your notes until afterward. Highlighting everything. Highlighting everything happens when a student marks large parts of a page because nearly every sentence seems important. Highlighting was originally meant to help important ideas stand out, but when too much text is marked, nothing really stands out anymore. The student may spend more attention choosing colors or covering sentences than thinking about what the information means. A better alternative is to highlight only a few key words or ideas, then write a short summary in your own words. Another option is to create questions from the important information, so the material can be tested later, instead of simply looked at again. Active recall. Active recall means closing the book or notes and trying to remember the information without looking at the answer. This can be done with practice questions, flashcards, or simply explaining a topic from memory. The method is different from passive studying because the brain has to retrieve the information instead of just seeing it again. Research on learning has supported retrieval practice for many years because recalling information helps strengthen access to it later. It also quickly reveals weak areas, allowing study time to be focused where it is actually needed. Spaced repetition. Spaced repetition means reviewing information across several study sessions instead of trying to learn everything at once. A topic might be reviewed after one day, then several days later, and again after a longer gap. The idea comes from early research into memory and forgetting, which showed that information becomes easier to retain when reviews are spread over time. Spaced repetition works especially well when combined with active recall. Instead of spending hours repeating familiar material, students return to information just as it begins to become harder to remember, helping it stay available for much longer.